And when the word reveals the lies of the devil, it should make us happy.
흑암의 실제를 깊이 말씀으로 드러내면 여러분 할렐루야 해야 돼요.
When through the word God begins to expose the lies of the devil, you should be screaming hallelujah.
아멘. 저는 중국 선교 현장에서 봤습니다.
I've seen this in the field of China.
복음은 하나님의 완전 해결책이 맞는데.
The gospel is God's complete solution.
마귀는 절대로 피하고만 상관이 없게 사람들의 속고 있는 흑암을 모르게 만들고.
But the devil is always, his only focus is deceiving people into thinking that they're bound in darkness and they don't even know it, and they're completely separate from the light and they don't know that.
그럼 어둠 속에 빛이 비춰지지 않는 만큼의 어둠은 죄와 사망에 묶였기 때문에 자신도 어쩔 수 없는 겁니다.
And as much as the light shines and we don't receive the light, then that means you and I are becoming more and more bound to this darkness, and that means that you and I are helpless.
끌려가는 겁니다.
We're going to be dragged away.
말 한마디에 끌려가고
You're going to be dragged away by the words of people.
보는 것에 끌려가버리고
You're going to be dragged away by the things that you see.
나도 어쩔 수가 없는 겁니다.
You can't help yourself.
여러분 자신 믿을 수 있습니까?
Do you trust yourself?
괜찮습니까? 자신이? 괜찮게 보입니까?
Do you think you're pretty decent?
여러분이 정말로 깨닫고
Really begin to realize this.
내가 나를 믿을 수 없어.
Then you'll find that there is no way you can believe yourself.
누구를 믿겠습니까?
Then who else could you believe?
누구를 믿겠냐니까.
Who in this world could you believe?
몰라, 마따나베 목사님 믿을 수 있지.
Maybe you might be able to trust Pastor Lloyd.
너무나 훌륭하시니까.
Because he's so together.
어떤 사람은 아니 복음 깨달았으면 흑암은 다 끝난 거지 왜 자꾸 흑암을 말하냐 그래요.
Some people say, I realize the gospel, the darkness is over. Why do you keep talking about this darkness?
그래요. 구원받는 순간은 이미 끝난 겁니다.
Yes, the moment you receive salvation, it is over.
그러나 그때부터 원수는 마비된 자로 역사하는 게 아니라 속이는 원수 제자로 역사하는 걸 잊지 마십시오.
However, never forget that his power, authority over you as your father is over, but now he's working in your life as your enemy, as your deceiver.
Amen.
불신자 상태는 생명이 없어요.
In the state of non-believer, there's no life.
빛이 그 안에 없어요.
There is no light.
그야말로 어둠이요.
They are complete darkness.
완전히 잡혀있는 상태요.
They are completely bound.
내버려두면 소망이 없어요.
And if you leave them alone, they are hopeless, completely
마귀의
hopeless.
소원, 불신자 평생 모르게 만든 거예요.
And the devil's only goal is to make sure that this non-believer never figures that out.
여러분 어떻게 생각하십니까?
What do you think about that?
나는 이전에 구원 받고서 불신자 보면 헷갈렸어요.
You know, in the past, when I didn't really know the gospel, I would look at non-believers and I'd be confused.
분명히 나 구원 받았어요.
I know I'm saved.
불신자 분명 구원 못 받았어요.
And I know that that non-believer is not saved.
나는 하나님의 자녀고.
I'm a child of God.
불신자 분명히 마귀의 자녀예요.
And that non-believer is the slave of the devil.
그럼 하나님이 누구 축복해야 돼?
Then who should God be blessing?
어?
Who should God be blessing?
누구 축복해야 돼?
Who should he bless?
아, 왜 말을 못해요?
Why can't you answer me?
아, 하나님의 자녀 축복해야지.
He has to bless his child.
근데 현실을 살아가보니까 불신자 나보다 훨씬 낫다는데.
But if you look at the reality, non-believers are way better off than us.
아니 마귀 자녀들이 훨씬 낫대.
These children of the devil are much better off than us.
이거 도대체 헷갈려가지고 이게 내가 이게.
So I was so confused.
분명히 본 받았는데.
Because I know I was saved.
시편 73편에 보니까 어떤 친구 나하고 비슷하더라고.
In Psalm chapter 73, I found out there's another friend who thinks the same thing I did.
이 불신자들의 형통함을 보고
He saw the prosperity of the non-believer.
기름이 그냥 흐르는데 얼굴에.
And he said, their faces drip with oil.
그냥 만사 형통이래.
And everything just works out for them.
어느 날 죽을 때 고통도 없더래.
And when they die, they don't even suffer.
그걸 끝난 거잖아.
Then it's over.
이걸 보면서 내가 그 사람을 봐요. 실족하여 거의 미끄러질 뻔했다.
And then David says that I was so discouraged, I almost slipped and fell.
여러분 어떻습니까?
What about you?
그렇죠.
You feel the same too, don't
아니
you?
솔직하게 얘기해보자.
Let's be honest.
불신자가 난 것 같아요? 성도가 난 것 같아요?
Do you really think non-believers are better off, or the saints are better off?
나 이번에 한국에 여기 들어오기 전에 중을 만났어. 스님.
Before I came here in Korea, I ran into this Buddhist monk.
그 정이 말을 했더라고.
And this monk told me.
한국에 봉은사라고 유명한 절이 있습니다.
In Korea, there's this very famous Buddhist temple.
나 깜짝 놀랐어요. 왜? 한 달에 휴전돈 들어오는 곳이 봉은사에 120.
And I was so surprised. He told me that in 1 month, that Buddhist temple makes $120 million over.
하나도 안 놀라시네.
You don't seem that surprised.
불신자들이 훨씬 성도들보다 낫구나.
And so you have no choice but to think these non-believers are so much better off than us.
아니 이 교회에 한 달에 120억씩 나온다 생각해봐.
Think about that every month your church made $120 million.
그럴 정도 여러분들이 복을 받아봐.
Imagine if your church had that much blessing.
아멘 안 하면 하나도 없네. 그 지금 뭐요?
So what's going on here?
복을 달라는 말이요. 되지 않아도 된다는 말이요 지금 이게.
Are you saying that you don't need that blessing? Why aren't you responding to this?
안 봐도 되는 것처럼 하면서 돌아가서 안 그러지.
You pretend like, oh, we don't need that, but you go home and you're like, I really want that.
Come on. Amen.
그런다고 없는 게 아니니까 속에 다 있다니까 여기 시커멓게 다 있어 여기.
Don't pretend like you don't have it. We're all just rotting inside, just thinking that.
여러분, 불신자가 어떤 상태입니까?
What state are non-believers in?
이걸 가지고 보시면 됩니다.
Look at them with this.
만약 잘 되면 어떻게 되겠죠?
What happens if they do well?
빛이 필요한 이유를 알겠습니까?
Do you think they would ever come to know their need for a light?
No.
그가 은혜 받을 수 있겠습니까?
Do you think that they will ever receive grace?
그래서 누가복음 16장에 우리에게 부자를 잘 보여준 겁니다.
And that's why in Luke chapter 16, the Bible tells us about the wealthy man, the rich man.
거기에도 부자가 보니까 죽을 때까지 잘 살았다.
It says, even there, the rich man lived very well until he died.
어느 정도 돈이만 날마다 잔치를 베풀어서 친구를 초대해.
He had so much money, he had parties and banquets every day, inviting his friends.
오늘 오전에 우리 집사님들이 또 이렇게 투어를 좀 해줘서 3분의 1 돌고 왔습니다.
This morning, one of our deacons, they took us on a tour. We toured 1/3 of the island.
돌면서 보면서 야 이거 에덴 동산과 같았더라.
And as we were, as we were seeing the scenery, we were like, this is like the Garden of Eden here.
그러니 이 땅에 이 사는 인간이 축복이 아니라 내가 볼 때는 이 복음 없으면 진짜 이게 저주예요.
And it's not a blessing to be surrounded by this. If you don't have the gospel,